Hello. Welcome to our weekly functional medicine show. And I'm so excited. I have Kevin with me again this week. Yay!
Missed you. It's so good to see you.
I know. We've been doing some solo episodes for a couple weeks now, but there's too much going on this week and this month to talk about all by myself. So excited to have Kevin back on here so we can chit chat for a little bit.
For sure. Yeah, I'm super excited to be on. I know that some announcements internal with RPHL, like both Sean and I have, jobs just like Lauren has a job, and all of us are doing the pharmacy thing, for the entire pharmacy space to know that it's not just having fun on LinkedIn or across the interwebs. We're doing the thing in real life too. So that's one part of it. But the other part is just I have to give a huge shout out. So whenever it comes to people that I can count on to get things done that are just really incredible human beings, the person right over here is one of them. So if you guys are ever looking to do something with someone and build trust and rapport, I can tell you that when it comes to things that Lauren is not getting paid, Lauren is not making any money off of Kevin, and she's still there for me. And so I think that is just something really special to make sure you guys know is just a really genuine, kind, giving spirit that's across the screen. I really appreciate her. So I want to start off with that.
Aw, thanks, Kevin. And likewise, I think being part of RPH Ally has just been so fun over the last, hardcore, like actually doing stuff and getting things done. It's been more in the last few months, but
Yep.
I mean, the relationship started years ago, right? Like when it was just an idea, it was just like a dream. And now it's like, oh, hey, we're doing like an event next week, and this is really
Yeah,
happening.
I know. Are you excited about the event, Lauren? I mean, I'm super stoked.
I'm so excited as well. I think it's just going to be amazing to finally get together so many different people in the pharmacy profession from all different walks and pathways and specialties, and just have an amazing platform to be able to share their message. So I know obviously I'm excited to talk about functional medicine. I think I'm going the first night, so Tuesday night at like 9 o'clock. So you're gonna have to
Yep.
stay up late, but
Right. And everybody that knows Lauren, like Lauren was going to bed. I think we went to a conference together and I was like, hey, did you want to come out and have dinner? And it was fairly late. And I could see Lauren's eyes like rolling in the back of her head around 9 p.m., at
yeah,
that time. So she gets her sleep in, and that is important. So I appreciate her staying up late to give this presentation for sure.
absolutely. Yeah, sleep is important, but whenever it's a worthwhile cause, we can
Amen.
make it work. So
And I think the worthwhile cause is really interesting to just note, like some really awesome people. I mean, Bruce is just commenting on our show right now, Lauren, on him being part of it and all the things he's doing in motivational interviewing and caring so much about how we communicate and connect with patients. And we could rattle down the entire list of 25 plus individuals that are giving their time to be able to connect with the future of pharmacy. And I think that's the awesome thing. We have so many different perspectives on what is the future of pharmacy and what matters the most, and bring those all together in a just kind of an incredible open environment is what I feel like is really going to be a takeaway from it. And the fact that we can get CE for being there with all these incredible individuals, and CE that this is going to blow your mind, you'll actually enjoy, is available right there.
yeah, I love that. I think that was incredible that that was something that we could pull off because, again, like that's always one of the challenges, right? Of like, if you're going to spend the time actually listening to something, right? Like, one, it's so easy to try and multitask and be on autopilot and like doing something over here, right? But it's like whenever you actually have CE and it's like, okay, well, I can pay attention and actually learn something from this and get credit for it, right? And, it's like there's a little bit of that financial skin in the game motivator of like, yes, this is something of value and I'm actually going to show up for it and like put the time aside to do it, right? Because I think in this world of online space, like there's so much free value that RPH is already giving away. And this is kind of taking it to that next level and really elevating, the offerings that RPH Ally has to bring to the table. So I'm excited that we're finally doing this. I think we've been talking about that for a while internally. in
Yep.
terms of like, what is it that RPH Ally truly has to bring to the profession? And I think this is the first of many. So I'm excited.
No, I totally agree. I think there's an interesting tipping point in every business, right? You can almost feel it when it's like, okay, this is when it just got real, and this is it for us. It really went from like a nice community that we were doing some things and trying to create some things for pharmacy to putting together a really incredible display of the capabilities within our profession, and then allowing people to collaborate. Like that's what it's all about, Lauren. And I think
Mhm.
that's where the value is for the community. That's where the value is for our profession, and I couldn't be more thankful. And it's it's really because of we have an awesome profession, Lauren. I mean, we really do. There's some really incredible, talented people that are doing some awesome things out there. And I know that we often get stuck with, but we don't get paid for this, or we don't get paid reimbursed for this or that. And I totally agree. Like we need to work on that. We have to advocate for it. But there are people like you and like several other colleagues of ours that are doing it, and they're having patients pay them, they're having facilities pay them to utilize their skills because they've cultivated them and they've showcased them in ways that are monetizable. And I think that's something important for us to finally recognize, and will really be on showcase.
Absolutely. Yeah. So next week, make sure that you go to the RPH Ally pages, sign up. It's the RPH Ally soiree. It's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. So you've got quite a bit ahead of you to stay tuned for.
For sure. What else is going on, Lauren? I mean, this is a super packed month, as you're mentioning. What other exciting things should folks be looking out for? I know Drug Topics has a thing on this weekend on Saturday, so I wanted to plug that for our partners over there at Drug Topics. They are putting on another event for the community pharmacy world to be able to recognize. I think it's inventory related, that's going on there. What other things do we need to be aware of?
So, in the functional medicine space, July is such a busy month because most of the different training programs and conferences and all of these fun things kind of start picking back up in the fall around September. So, everything starts ramping up again. It felt like we kind of had a little bit of a lull for a second to catch our breath post, IFM and A4M in the spring. And now everything's kind of like picking up speed again. So this week in particular, there are a couple of different deadlines. And if you're subscribed to our newsletter, fmpha.org/newsletter, you got all of this data in your inbox yesterday. But in case you missed it, couple of the big deadlines. School of Applied Functional Medicine early bird ends today, so you can save $1,000 off tuition there. Beyond the Labs is hosted by Rob Kress. This is a really amazing functional medicine training program and mentorship that looks at lifestyle and clinical protocols in just a really incredible way that he teaches. And that deadline is tomorrow, the 13th, if you want to save on his program. And then next week is Functional Medicine University. They open back up for enrollment for the program that they have. So lots of different options there. And then the next thing as well is Functional Medicine Coaching Academy, which I haven't talked about them as much as some of the other training programs, but I recently got to meet Sandy and Elise, who are the co-founders of that program at the IFM conference, and had a really amazing conversation with them about kind of looking at the similarities and differences between health coaching and pharmacy, and some of the same challenges around being recognized as providers and billing and carving out what exactly our services are within the functional medicine team. And so on July 27th, Sandy and I are actually going to be doing a webinar together going over how to integrate pharmacy and health coaching. And I think it's going to be really awesome because there's ways for pharmacists to act as health coaches. There's also ways for pharmacists to leverage health coaches in order to free up more of their time to really get into the clinical nitty-gritty details that pharmacists are so keenly aware of and capable of managing. But you kind of have to, decide what aspects of functional medicine practice you most enjoy And that's something that we teach in the boot camp course, which that is still going on right now. So we actually have our second of 3 live calls tonight for functional medicine pharmacist boot camp through FMPHA, and
Amazing.
people can still join. So it's at this point, the course is kind of on evergreen where you don't have to wait to sign up for a cohort. You can sign up now and still be able to join in on the live calls tonight. And then the last one will be on the 26th, 2 weeks from now. And then after that, it's just going to be an open enrollment. So you can join anytime, and there will just be a monthly call going forward for Q&A that, once you sign up, you get access for life. And so you can always come back in and ask questions and go back through the course and the content whenever you're coming up with new business ideas or new service ideas of how you want to implement functional medicine. So that's like all the big things going on in July right now, which is pretty exciting. And then
business ideas, Lauren. I was just visiting with a buddy the other day in an independent pharmacy system, and he was telling me when I have a dietitian or a naturopath out on the floor, just kind of walking with the patients and asking them, what they need help with or what recommendations, he said it was more than a 3x increase on those days of sales, of their front end sales. So to me, it's like that makes so much sense for a collaboration, right, Lauren? For a functional medicine pharmacist to be able to say, I can be out there on the front end for you, helping your individual patients look at these root causes and be able to analyze things based on your current supplement regimens you have available. But hearing more than 3x in sales, I mean, absolutely tremendous. And then he was telling me there's a pharmacy that they were working with that was a downtown location in a nice area, of course, but they're doing over $50,000 a week in front end sales, right? And that was just foot traffic. So I think that there is a underestimation sometimes of the collaborations that can happen between the functional medicine space and the independent pharmacy space on where those things can meet. I just ran into that yesterday, so kind of perfect timing for you to cue me up on. Is that already happening? Are you seeing those kind of things happen throughout the functional medicine space of that collaboration?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. I didn't mention this in the rundown, all of the events going on, but yesterday, my friend Josh Romani did a webinar that was specifically geared towards independent pharmacists. And it was actually called Healthy Profits for Pharmacists. So I'm sure you can probably look him up and grab the replay. I think he's actually going to do a repeat presentation of this in August. So you can definitely check that out. But that's the whole premise of like, how do we actually utilize this functional medicine approach to kind of break free from like just the traditional dispensing model? Because that's not where it's at, right? Like it doesn't help patients get better and it doesn't help the pharmacy thrive. And it's not fulfilling and satisfying anymore to just dispense medications, right? There's so much more that we can offer, whether it's through a pharmacist-led clinical service program or through a collaboration with other healthcare providers. Again, it comes down to actually understanding what your individual strengths are and what you actually enjoy providing as the service. And that's where you can really structure and create the type of practice or program that you're going to enjoy and actually be successful in.
Love it.
Yeah. Which for me, I feel like this actually is a great transition. I have been thinking lots about this because I'm sort of in a transition myself with the pharmacy practice role that I've been in and, cutting back hours to spend more time working on FMPHA, but also having more flexibility and freedom to travel and spend time in Costa Rica and host my first retreat in August. So if anyone is interested in coming to Costa Rica, I will be down there for 2 weeks. And that was also included in our newsletter yesterday. So August 12th through the 19th is sort of a general visit week for anyone who is curious about what it's like to host a retreat in Costa Rica and wants to just learn about that process in a very kind of relaxed environment. Mastering Retreats is the 12th through the 19th. And
Wow.
then if you're more so interested in actually experiencing a retreat for yourself, then August 19th through the 24th is called our You Are Meant to Be Here retreat. So if that sounds like you and it's like, wow, I've been waiting to go to Costa Rica, or I've been waiting to go to retreat, or I've been wanting to, get some downtime for myself, or, really spend some time focusing on my business, or, healing or working through some things, or whatever it looks like, right? Like it's very open-ended, and yeah, maybe it's all of the above. That's really what this week is designed for, is for you to be able to actually fully experience what it's like. And the three of us that are co-hosting this retreat, the 19th through the 24th, it's myself, Jill, who's our general manager on the property, and Fiorella, who I got to meet this summer at the Psychedelics Conference. We're all approaching this from kind of our own experiences in this space and in this journey of life, right? And like, how did we all get here? And so, yeah, I think it's going to be really incredible. And I'm just excited to see who all is interested in it, whether you're a pharmacist and you're listening into this or not, right? It's not just limited to pharmacists, but certainly all are welcome. But anyone that's watching this, if you're on LinkedIn or other platforms, feel free to check out the info on kunstmaniacr.com. So
I've heard nothing but good things about the experience over there, and just how relaxing it is, and just a nice break from the wild chaos that we expose ourselves to in the United States. So that's an exciting opportunity, Lauren. I think the only other thing that I have for a plug is just my clinical plug for the day for our functional medicine listeners is I went over something with Donna a little bit ago, Lauren, and you and I need to talk about it here sometime soon. We don't have enough time in this episode, but just a plug is the Endocrinology Society came out with their aging and hormone guideline, recently, their overview, and really touch on what they've seen in the data related to hormone shifts and changes in elderly adults, and how those things kind of transition, and the data that's come back on what has worked, what hasn't worked, and what has caused problems. Really a fantastic overview for anybody that needs to have a refresher on hormones and their impacts in aging.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. I personally haven't looked into it yet, but I think it sounds like something that would be really fascinating to look at through the functional lens as well.
Boom. Love it. Well, thank you, Lauren, so much for a wonderful episode. It is so good to see your wonderful face. Thank you for everything that you do. And audience that was listening, so good to see you guys. We'll be connecting more often, Lauren and I, together as a joined duo. High five over there.
All right. We'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye.